Assault rifles are the second class that I have managed to get diamond within Infinite Warfare. They were a lot more of a grind than submachine guns were to complete, and I only expect it to get harder from here. Hello lovely people, my name is Pancherzz, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing episode 2 of the Black Sky Guide series. This is a series where I talk you through how I find it easiest to get diamond on each weapon class, working towards that Black Sky camo, as I complete it myself. So I'm giving you tips based off what I think when I manage to complete it, what I find easiest for getting each class diamond. So as you know, there are 5 assault rifles within Infinite Warfare. And similarly to the submachine guns episode, I'm going to have different recommendations for each of these weapons based off the experience that I've got from using them. But before I get into these, I'm going to say make sure you choose your variants based off advantages they give you and not just the highest rarity one, because quite frankly it's not always best. I'm going to give you 2 examples. First off, the R3K, I'm just going to call it the Rec from here on out because it's easier. If you have the legendary Rec Gambit prototype, you may be tempted to use it over, say, a common. But I and many other people get a much better advantage from using the common counterbalance variant, which reduces recoil. This will make the gun so much nicer to use compared to the Gambit's extra attachment when you spawn and a faster reload when the mag is empty, which is pretty pointless to be fair. Similarly with the Volk, I have the Epic Corruption variant, which actually gives you more XP per kill and also has an increased damage range, so in theory it takes less bullets to kill people at a further distance. However, the recoil pattern on this weapon is pretty crazy in my opinion, so I got a greater advantage, again in a common variant, called the Regulator, which reduces recoil. This also again stacks with foregrip to make the gun so much easier to use. So when picking the weapon that you're going to go for, make sure you use one that has an advantage that helps you out, and not just an epic one because you have it and it looks cool. Sometimes the common ones are actually better than the more rare variants of each weapon. Getting straight into the challenges now. First of all, you're going to have to get 200 kills with each of the assault rifles. This is easy, and again, like the submachine guns, it will give you a chance to get used to each weapon and see how your playstyle might need to be adapted to suit each individual type of weapon. The next set of challenges is to get 160 headshots with each of them. It's a bit of a weird number, I think, 160, and at the start this is going to feel like quite a lot of a grind and may go by pretty slowly, but as you find combinations of attachments that work for you, it should slowly start getting easier and easier. I'm not going to suggest attachments for you to use in particular because it's quite a personal thing I think, but find what works for you and stick to it. Sometimes you're going to get lots of headshots, sometimes you're not. So my biggest recommendation as well is to not focus on it too much. Have it in the back of your mind so that say you come up behind someone who's not looking at you, you can get a free headshot on them when you do think about it, but don't be going for it every single kill in every gunfight, as you're probably going to end up losing and dying in most of the situations. With the amount of movement in this game, even tracking people is hard sometimes, never mind aiming for a tiny little head on some of these character models. So don't focus too much on going to headshots. Try and aim sort of upper body, shoulder area. Quite often you'll get headshots anyway from this area just because of recoil patterns, but don't focus too much on trying to go for the headshot in every gunfight that you come to. Using phase shift or active camo is actually a sick way to get headshots, because you can easily sneak up behind or flank people, and with active camo you can actually line up on headshots when they can't see you, and just get that easy one when you pop back out. Apart from that, don't worry too much, as you'll probably just end up playing badly to be honest if you're focusing purely on headshots. As you unlock each of the camos for headshots, focus on the challenge that you unlock through doing that. It means you'll have less challenges to do when you're done, and it will take your mind off trying to go for headshots all the time if you're focusing on trying to complete something else as well. Basically just have fun with the weapon that you're using and try and get good with it. The feeling of destroying a whole team of NV4 users using a Type 2 is absolutely brilliant. They're more underused guns in the game, not quite as easy to use, but if you get a really good game with it, you'll feel so much better for it. After you've completed these, or while they're going on and you unlock them, it's the Longshots challenge that takes surprisingly long to achieve. All you really need to do is find a long line of sight on a map, and hardcore is great for this as it only takes 1 or 2 bullets to get those longer range kills. They'll come quite quickly, but not as quick as you expect. With the assault rifles, the distance is actually quite a long way to get a long shot medal. One big tip is don't put an optic on that zooms in really quite far, as it will make the distance required for a long shot even longer to get. Try and use just a stock sight or a red dot or an elo, and that will get you the long shots on those long lines of sight in different maps. The rest of the challenges are really easy to do. 50 kills with an optic is incredibly easy. 50 kills with no attachments is also extremely quick to do. 20 double kills will happen while you're playing with the weapon, and get a 3 kill streak 20 times will take a little bit longer, but again, if you just play normally, 3 kill streak isn't really very much. You'll get them in no time while you're going for the other challenges. So now I am going to move on to the game modes in which I found it easiest to get the challenges done for each of the assault rifles. I'm going to go through all 5 of the assault rifles individually and talk about the game modes and the play styles that I found it easiest to get, not only the headshots but the challenges completed. So first off, the NV4. The NV4, NV4, literally anywhere, anything, at any time. Just play with the weapon, it's too easy, probably OP in the game, it's got no recoil, it's fast firing. It is just everywhere. If you play hardcore, 90% of the people in hardcore are using NV4s all the time. Just use it wherever you want, you'll do well. You might even get messages complaining to you if you do too well, calling you a noob for using it, but who cares, just use the NV4 wherever you want. For the rec, I found it easiest to do the challenges in tactical team deathmatch. With people not jumping around and wall running, plus the higher damage, the rec absolutely destroys people with one bursts, and headshots are far easier to get in my opinion in this game mode. The way the gun kicks up from each burst, if you aim for sort of the upper body area, the bullet that actually kills the enemy is nearly always a headshot. One game I managed to get 26 headshots using this method, just in one game. It is actually incredible. I managed to go through nearly a whole different camo challenge to get the next one. The rec is less suited to full-on rushing and more methodical pushing, as hipfire can be a bit dodgy sometimes if you get in a sticky situation, but play how you see fit. Now for the Type 2. When I started using this weapon, I did not like it at all. In hardcore, it seemed to shoot peas, and I was getting dropped by literally every other gun in the game. But I found it worked quite well for me in tactical team deathmatch, and once I got used to using it there, I actually did really quite well with it. I actually managed to get this gun gold in about 5 hours in one day when I didn't have my laptop with me, so I've only got one gameplay from that event. But I found it easy and actually quite fun to use in the end. The gun is very suited to rushing, and its akimbo alternative mode can be quite useful for really close engagements. However, the fast fire rate I found more than enough, staying in assault rifle mode, and it meant that I could sort of not have to worry about switching if there was one enemy close and one enemy far. Just staying in assault rifle mode was much easier for me. But it turns out this gun is actually quite a lot of fun in tactical team deathmatch, but maybe not so much in hardcore. Finally, the Volk. This gun definitely worked best for me in hardcore. Because it's high damage, it kills in one bullet, which is absolutely brilliant. It does fire quite slowly though, meaning you have to be a lot more accurate with it. This gun is also less suited to rushing because of it, and a more passive moving around the map, aiming around corners as you jump, and taking people out at long range is where this gun shines. Once you have completed all of the 5 weapons, you will have diamond assault rifles. Go you! I hope you guys have found this video useful. If you have, feel free to drop a like below. Leave a comment down below of what other videos you want to see or what weapon class you want me to do next. I was thinking LMGs is the next progression from here, but I'm open to any other ideas. Subscribe for more content and I will see you guys later.